the sequels suck nowadays. Do you want to watch Halloween, or Halloween? 3 films all in the same franchise with the same exact name. Yeah, that's not gonna get confusing like at all. Movies that are sequels should never be titled the same as the original. I'm looking at you, Scream. I miss the good old days when a series was numbered. A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4? No one has to Google it to figure out where it comes in the series. Life was just good in the 80s. Even if the numbering gets out of hand, who really cares? That's the studio's fault for making so many dang sequels. Now, I think the biggest culprit to an absurd amount of sequels is the Unmasked series. What, Friday the 13th has like 12 films? Unmasked, on the other hand? Well, I have part 25 right here. Yeah, puts the Friday the 13th series to shame. I just have to find parts 1 through 24 now. Of course, I'm being satirical. This is very much a standalone film, but satire is very fitting when talking about Unmasked Part 25. It's a movie drenched in it, poking fun and making fun of slasher franchises like Friday the 13th. It's been on my radar for years now, but I'm just not the biggest horror comedy fan, but at least it's made in the 80s, so maybe it'll be good after all. Let's find out together. Welcome to the HellBound Horror Show. Unmasked Part 25, also known as The Hand of Death, starts in London. A man and a woman are warned of a killer with a vague backstory. They, of course, shrug off the warning and go to their party anyway. While at the party, couples split up to have a little adult fun time, but oh no, there's a masked killer stalking around. We get some quick and brutal deaths. We even get a little homage to Friday the 13th Part 2 with a spear through the couple. This hockey mask wearing killer has killed everyone at the party except this quiet girl named Shelly. She was stood up at the party. When the killer walks in, she mistakes him for her blind date, and blind is right. Shelly is unable to see, so she isn't repulsed by the killer.
My name is Shelly. Don't be shy. Come on now.
At first, the killer doesn't speak, so she carries on the conversation thinking that he's mute. She takes him back to her place, and it's here where the killer does talk. He's a shy, well-educated man, and his name is Jackson. Like Jason, Jackson, Jason. Yeah, funny one.
They think I'm a monster.
Monster?
Jackson has gotten the short end of the stick in life. People are repulsed by him, so he responds by murdering them. Since Shelly can't see him, there is no problem, and she genuinely wants to get to know him. Multiple times, Jackson tries to kill her, but she wins him over with her gentle and honest comfort. The two fall for each other. Now, this would all be endearing if it wasn't already the subplot for the Toxic Avenger. Shelly wants to take her new boyfriend out on the town, but of course, Jackson doesn't want this, as he's afraid of what people will say or think. There's some drama with Jackson's father, who thinks of Jackson as a mere killing freak. It runs in Jackson's family, as his father was also a murderer. Jackson battles himself over wanting to be a killing machine or wanting to settle down with a woman he loves. It's this internal conflict that really drives the plot. Can Jackson overcome his past and change his future, or will he forever be a cog in the machine, turning out endless, pointless sequels? Unmasked Part 25 was a pleasant surprise and way better than it had any right to be. The film is hilarious at times and actually had me laughing out loud once or twice. The characters are fairly well written and acting was believable, so when characters were in silly situations, it made me chuckle. The gore and makeup is also phenomenal. There were some great, brutal kills in this one. The film does feel a bit tonally confused though. Is it a slasher? Is it a comedy? Or is it just strangely in the middle? It's not exactly a breath of fresh air, but it is at least unique in its approach. There are some shots that are fantastic. but most of the time, cinematography is bland and rather static. Shots tend to linger a little too long, and there's a bit too many wide-angle shots that just soak up all the attention. Visually exciting at times, but most of the time, boring to look at. Unmasked Part 25 is a bit of a mixed bag. There are some moments of brilliance, but there's also a lot of jokes that don't land, some questionable character development, and too much downtime. The most boring parts of the movie is when it tries to be a generic, boring slasher. Still, I'm surprised this hasn't gained more of a cult following.
It just all seems so pointless.
Slasher fans should really like this one, but it's not going to be for every horror fan. So check it out if it looks like your cup of tea. And I'll see you all next week when I take a look at Unmasked Part 26, Jackson Returns. That's all I have for tonight, so thank you so much for watching, and stay spooky, everyone. That was a fun one. I enjoyed the meta aspect of it. Speaking of meta horror films, what is your favorite meta horror film? I'd love to know in the comments below. Thanks.